Hey, this video is for you if you want to learn how to use ChatGPT. Listen, this is going to be a fun little course. It's like a mini course, and I'm putting together a few videos in a playlist so that you have them all organized and everything. We're going to start out with this video where I'm just going to go over some of the basics. All right, we're going to get you started. This video, this course is not for you if you want to learn to use ChatGPT for like coding, or you're trying to, for example, use it to make 2,000 Instagram reels or those kinds of things. This is just for folks who want to learn how to use ChatGPT but aren't necessarily looking to do something like commercially with it or for a business. They're just not wanting to get left behind and be able to understand how to use this technology, because it's very useful, especially if you've ever thought of trying to use like Siri and you ask questions to it and you just get these horrible responses. Well, you can ask ChatGPT this stuff right from your phone, right from the app on your phone, and get like really good answers, to things like, what do I want to stop and see if I'm driving eastbound on I-70 through Kansas, or that kind of stuff, that Siri could never help you with. Well, ChatGPT can, and I'm going to show you how to do that kind of stuff in this course, okay? So I'm just going to bounce over here into my slides. I'm only using these not because I want to make a boring presentation to you, but just because down below in the description, I'm going to have each of these videos broken out into the different sections, okay? So this is our course, and the first thing we're going to do in this video is talk about a couple of things, all right? There's a lot of bullet points here, but it's going to be really quick how fast we can go through it. And so it's just going to be getting started. And then the second piece is we're going to be starting to have some conversations with ChatGPT. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't cost anything for you to use either the app or the computer version. And both versions kind of connect up to each other as long as you use the same login. So you'll be able to keep track of all your historical chats and all of that stuff in one place, whether you're in the app on your phone or whether you're on your laptop. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, here's the thing with ChatGPT is all you have to do is go over here and get signed up, okay? And the way you do that is just type in ChatGPT, all right? If you start typing it out, a lot of browsers will just start to find the address. It's like chat.openai.com or something like that, but you can just search up ChatGPT, right? And it's just gonna open up. And then all you have to do is sign up. Now, if you're on your phone, then all you have to do is just download the app from the App Store, okay? It's in Google, it's on Android, it's in Apple as well. So, and your process is going to be the same. I'm just going to do this video from a computer because it's just easier to show you everything. But all the stuff I do here, you'll be able to do on your phone too, okay? So if you've already got an account, go ahead and just log in. If you don't have an account, just hit the little sign up button. And if you've downloaded the app, it's going to kind of prompt you through these things a little quicker than having to click around like we do on the laptop. But all it takes is an email address. So just type that in, or you can link up with your Google or Microsoft or Apple account. Okay, so whatever is convenient for you. You type in your address, your email address, and then they're going to send you like a code to your email. Then you just type in the little 6-digit code on their screen, okay? And then you'll be able to continue from there. You'll have to set up a password, and then that's that, right? You're used to that. We're used to setting up accounts on different places, and this one will be no different than any other, okay? And that'll get you into the free account. And once you're there, then you're gonna see a screen. And yours may be black, yours may be white. It just kind of depends. Like I have my computer colors turned to dark versus light, so I just like that better for my eyes, but that is that. So let's just make sure we're checking everything else off here on our list. We talked about what ChatGPT is a little bit and how it can help you. It answers tons of questions, and it's not something where it's like, so if you're familiar with like Alexa or Siri and you've used them before, you kind of know that when you ask questions like, what is the top scoring, person in the NBA right now or something like that, then what it does is it just kind of looks up a website for you. And sometimes it'll read off the answer. Other times it'll be like, here's the link to the article. And, it may or may not be helpful. Well, ChatGPT is nice because it will actually either speak to you or write to you, depending on which way you're communicating with it. But it will actually find out the answer and give it back to you. Like, it doesn't just bring you back a web page and leave you to kind of find the answer. And so it doesn't get stuck with questions like that. It actually will find you an answer. So it's pretty cool in that respect. And it does lots of other things. Like, it can write stuff for you, it can edit documents and stuff like that. So we'll get into all of that later on in the course, okay? I don't want to jump ahead too far because I just want to be conscious that despite all these cool things it can do, the first step we have to take is getting logged in and understanding how to make a chat, okay? Make a conversation start up with ChatGPT and just see how that all works, okay? So that, like I said, we get through this stuff pretty quick. That covers everything on here, okay? So the next piece we're going to talk about is how to have a conversation with ChatGPT, okay? So, and for that, we're going to cover our first conversation. I'm going to talk about the fact that you can dictate messages versus having to write things out, okay? So this is especially useful when you're on your phone. And then you can basically, we'll look through the messages and talk about how to start new chats and how to get to old chats and stuff like that. And lastly, we'll get through how to adjust the privacy settings in this, just to make sure it kind of aligns with what you want as far as what data they're collecting and how everything works and stuff like that. So, boom, we're logged in, we're in ChatGPT, you're on this screen, whether you're on your phone or on your computer. What can I help with? Okay, well, let's ask a simple question like I mentioned earlier. I'm heading east on Interstate 70 through Kansas. What should I stop to see? Let's see what it does. Okay, it says it's searching the web, right? Now, comes back, okay. And all right, so now I know from having driven through, I'd have to double check on all of these. I'm not an expert on Kansas, but I do live in Colorado and I've been on I-70 through Kansas. I know some of these towns are on I-70. I don't know if all of them are. So you have to double check it sometimes, but here's Lawrence, right? That's a cool college town. Topeka, I know, is a good town and stuff like that. So here's some ideas, right? Eisenhower's boyhood home, Abilene, Kansas. Hayes, good stuff to see there, right? So this is the conversation. And so now we can start saying stuff like, we can just keep the conversation going. Okay, so we could say like, what else should we see in Lawrence? Okay, so you can have a conversation. It's really like, what makes this so different than like the websites and stuff like that you may be interested, that you may have been used to visiting on your phone and online, is that you can just keep having like a conversation with ChatGPT and it'll just keep digging deeper and deeper into things if you want it to. And what's cool is it will remember everything from the conversation, okay? So this is one chat that we've created. This one's all about Kansas, right? We could start another one if we're actually on a road trip or something like that. We could be like, what are some things to see, in Illinois, because we're headed that way, right? Or where should we stay, or that kind of thing. If you're asking where to stay, like those kinds of things can probably still be better dealt with on your phone and just looking up your favorite hotels and seeing if they have places there. But this works really good for just planning out an itinerary or that kind of thing for your road trip. So that's just one use case. Now we're going to look at a couple of others as we go through the course. Okay, this is one chat, and so you can see we can kind of dig into Lawrence here. All good. We can do stuff like down here. You'll see a thumbs up, like was this a good response or was it a bad response? Would you like to edit it or refresh it or change the the model that you ask this to. We don't really care about the model though. We can just, whatever defaults up there, they're all pretty smart. Okay. The main one I use up here is just the copy. Okay. So you don't have to like highlight the text. So if you wanted to put this into a document or something like that, like say you've got somebody coming to town or something like that, and you want to send them some ideas, right, about what to do in Lawrence, Kansas, you could write it all up yourself. You could just ask ChatGPT for this and then hit copy, paste it into an email, and kind of delete out the stuff that you don't think is worth seeing, right? And so that would be like a huge time saver, right? Instead of pounding out the whole email. So you hit copy and then you can paste it anywhere you want, right? Now let's do this. I want to show you, I'm going to expand my little sidebar over here. Yours may be expanded by default. I just wanted to hide mine because I've got so many different saved chats over here that I didn't want it to be distracting. But this latest one, so you've got everything organized by today, yesterday, previous 7 days. So all your chats are there and you can always go back to them and check stuff, okay? And so now I've got this whole thing about Kansas, right? So now let's take an example of another use case, all right? Let's create a new chat and let's say I need some recipe ideas. I have chicken breast, I have broccoli, I don't know how to spell it, and some salad. What could I make? Okay. Now I use this thing for recipes all the time because you know what drives me insane is when I look up recipes online and I go to the site and I find something I like, but I'm trying to follow the recipe and there's like 10,000 advertisements all throughout the recipe. And so like my phone keeps closing, I'm trying to scroll and I'm clicking ads and I hate that. It drives me insane. So if that is something that resonates with you, you may find that ChatGPT is a great new resource for you for recipes because you get this stuff, it's like distraction free, there's no ads around it, and you can just use it, right? So here's a bunch of ideas, 5 ideas. We could do a wrap, we could do a salad, baked chicken, broccoli stir fry, grilled chicken, steamed salad, all right, or steamed broccoli and a side salad. So, you know, some ideas, right? So that'll be a new chat. And you could just turn this into like dinner ideas and then just keep the conversation going, right? So you get how that works, okay? So let's bounce back over here. We talked about the responses. We've talked about starting fresh when you want to. If you didn't quite catch that, then all you have to do to start a new conversation is just look for the little new chat thing, okay? So on your computer, it's gonna be up here in the top left, okay? On your phone, it's going to be down towards the bottom of the screen to create a new chat, and you just touch it and then it will open up a new chat window. And every chat that you create gets saved. And if you have chats you want to delete, you can do that, but there's no real reason to need to, right? You can just click the little dots beside it though and add it to a project to organize things into folders if you want, or delete, okay? Now, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about in this video, because we're going to do more, we're going to do a lot of cool stuff in ChatGPT. I'm going to show you more and more about prompting. We're not going to get too advanced, but we're going to have some fun and do some cool stuff, okay? The last thing I want to show you in here is just the settings, okay? So when you go to your little button thing on your phone or on the computer here that has your name on it or your initials, click that to go to the settings, okay? And then there's a couple of things you can do here, right? So I just want to point this stuff out. So like if you use it and then somehow like ChatGPT freaks you out or something like that and you don't want them to have the information that you entered in here or whatever, you can delete all chats, okay? You can do that stuff. They're adding more and more stuff into ChatGPT, like tasks, which are like notifications. So you can have it like do reminders to do stuff and that kind of thing. And so the notifications thing, you can just set up whether you want push notifications to show up on your phone or computer, or if you want it to be to email, okay? So set those things how you want. Personalization, you can tell it to remember the conversations, or you can turn that off. Speech stuff, we'll just leave that alone. Data controls, that's all fine. If you're not sure if you want to improve the model for everyone, which just means kind of sending some of the data that you do in here anonymously back to ChatGPT, then you could turn that off, okay? So just know about that. And then last thing I would say is security. You can do this thing where you like log out of all devices, like if your phone, if you feel like something got hacked or something like that. So you can log out. And then of course you can change your subscription. So I do the paid subscription because I do a ton of stuff with ChatGPT. You probably don't need it for a while, and I'm going to show you in a later video an alternative resource that enables you to get the latest models from ChatGPT and all the capabilities without having to subscribe to the $20 a month just ChatGPT thing. So I'll talk about that in a later video because it may be worth your while to do that versus subscribing here. All right, so to wrap up, we've kind of gotten logged into ChatGPT. We've learned how to create a conversation. We've created our first message and got a response. We've even talked about what to do with the response and how to copy it out and maybe put it into an email or something like that, okay? So, and we've talked about the privacy settings. So that's that for this video. In the next module, we're going to be talking about some more cool stuff that you can do, okay? We're going to get into, well, I don't want to give too much away, but we're going to do a little more advanced stuff with the prompts so that this can actually help you do stuff. We're going to talk about how to have this like summarize documents for you. So like if somebody gives you a big PDF document that you're supposed to read, could you have ChatGPT maybe read it for you and give you an executive summary to save you a lot of time reading the stuff? That kind of thing. All right, so it's super useful for that, and I think you'll benefit from it. So join me in the next video, and thank you so much for being here today. If you liked this video, please give it a like and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Geesh. And let's see, last but not least, I'm putting this all together as a course as well. So down in the description, you can also get a link to have all of this info as a course along with all the prompts and everything that I create, along with some bonus training. And you can get that, and then you've got access to it, and you don't have to get distracted by YouTube. You won't have any ads playing through it, stuff like that. So if that sounds interesting to you, just check the description below. Got a link to it down there. And again, thanks for being here.